Hello everyone, welcome to this week's Astrology News Report, an alternate view of world events as seen through the lens of Vedic astrology. Presented by yours truly, Ron Berger. Today is August 30th, 2015. So let's take a look at the week that was and how the planets' positions in the zodiac matched up with the past week's events. When two planets are conjunct, their energies are forced to combine. Over the past week, there were 3 simultaneous conjunctions between 3 pairs of planets. This was a setup for dramatic, even shocking events. And there certainly were a bunch of events that put the world on edge. Having gotten close enough to retrograde Venus, Mars, the attack planet, was in position to have dramatic effects on the significations of Venus, already made vulnerable due to its retrograde condition. The simultaneous conjunction of the Sun and Jupiter foretold something would happen to Jupiter's material signification of wealth and prosperity. On Monday, financial markets took a major tumble, extending the losses of the previous week. The Dow Jones sank 1,000 points when markets opened last Monday. Investors around the world started to vomit. In the zodiac, the planetary combination that foretold the potential for a financial downturn is still playing itself out and may very well continue to keep markets unstable for yet another week. Mars and Venus are the 2 gender planets, and when they interact, there's a lot of passion, and especially in a highly reactive water sign like Cancer, things can get pretty volatile. People have more tendency to go over the top with their emotions. Many of these incidences have involved violence. For example, the murder of a TV news reporter and her cameraman in Roanoke, Virginia last Wednesday, while they were filming and broadcasting a live interview. From the killer's published suicide note, it was obvious that he was, indeed, in a very disturbed emotional state. Before that, there was the dramatic takedown of a would-be mass murderer on a train in Belgium. A trio of Americans, accompanied by a Briton, foiled an AK-47-wielding Moroccan man on a crowded high-speed train bound for Paris. The brave, unarmed men were awarded France's highest medal by President Hollande. And then, topping off a week of shocking news, was the discovery of a parked truck on a highway at the Austrian-Hungarian border, full of dead, decomposing bodies. The corpses are assumed to be Syrians and others fleeing the Middle East. There were 71 bodies in all, including women and children. The mounting tide of refugees trying to get into Europe has reached overwhelming numbers. Governments have responded in various ways, including stringing razor wire along their borders, but the desperate migrants keep coming. And now for something a little lighter in tone. Let's check in on the Donald Trump show. Seems the Donald has decided to go head-to-head with Roger Ailes, the CEO of Fox News. See, after the dust-up with Megyn Kelly, the Fox News anchor who ran afoul of the Donald at the GOP debate, Ailes came to the defense of his news lady. Somehow, Roger and Donald made up, though, or seemed to. The astrological angle here is that Venus, the relationship planet, when retrograde, indicates reconsidering relationships. But note that Venus is attacked by Mars, showing that the reconciliation might not actually last. And indeed, the Donald then laid into Meghan again, and Roger takes umbrage, threatening to ban Donald from Fox. But hey, this time Donald doesn't back down. He's a Leo after all, and a Leo with Mars conjunct the ascendant degree. But then, by Wednesday, another truce seems to have been struck between Fox News chief and the Donald. Anyway, something that seems to be confounding the media pundits is how the Trump campaign, despite stepping on toes everywhere, defies gravity and continues to be the favorite of the Republican voters. And then there's Trump's counterpart in the Democrats' race, Bernie Sanders, who, with every passing week, has been gaining on front-runner Mrs. Clinton. For an astrological understanding, we turn to the astrology chart of the USA, where it becomes apparent that the explanation lies in the Uranus transit in the 4th house. Clearly, with this arrangement, the natives are not merely restless, they demand something different. And this setup isn't going away. In fact, Uranus will be more or less opposite the USA natal Saturn all the way to the election next year. And so, the rebellion continues. That'll do it for this week's Review of the Week. You can keep up with daily astrological developments and contribute your own thoughts by following me on Twitter at Astro News Report.